Welcome, everyone. We're so happy to see you all here. It's amazing, the people who have graduated from this college and the abilities that they had while they were here, and certainly then put them to good work when they went on to their professions. I'm so proud to see all of you, a lot of students that I had, so this is just really, really neat. Again, thank you all for coming for this special occasion. It's the dedication of the Grant Price Studio in the McElroy Communication Arts Center. And I'm Liz Mathis. I'm a Wartburg Board of Regents, and I'm a member of the Wartburg Board of Regents and a former colleague of Grant Price. A heartfelt welcome to several of you in attendance, including Grant's family and the McElroy staff and trustees, and Ron Steele of KWWL, donors to the Archives of Iowa Broadcasting, donors to the Grant Price Television Studio and the Communication Arts Digital Conversion Project, also the Archives of Broadcasting Advisory Board, I saw a few of you here, the Communication Arts Advisory Board, the Communication Arts faculty and staff, and the Wartburg faculty and staff, select other guests, and the Wartburg Communication Arts alumni. Of course, all of our electronic grads. I am honored and humbled to be welcoming you here today. Grant was my mentor who saved me from myself many, many times. He hired me for my first reporting job. Remember that, Ron? For which I was woefully inexperienced. And through 16 years of working by his side, he guided me through turmoil and, yes, some triumph. Well, a little bit of history about Grant to understand exactly who he was. And Julie, I hope I'm not stealing any of your thunder. He was soft-hearted and he could be tough, but he was certainly a lifelong learner. Grant was born in Saskatchewan in 1922. Did you students know that? And his father was a farmer. They moved to Nebraska, and he worked on a cattle ranch. He knew hard work, and I think we all saw that. He attended American University in Washington and Morningside College in Sioux City, and his first job was at a radio station in Sioux City. That was a start of a lifelong love of journalism, broadcasting, public debate, and political analysis. He ended up in Waterloo, and by then, he was well known on local television with a reputation as a tough news director who could at times have a little bit of a temper, but mostly he was very tender. Through the years, Grant taught us to be better coworkers and better people. I was one of hundreds of young men and women he mentored through the years. All of us feel lucky to have worked for him and beside him. We owe him our gratitude. He would be very moved and proud to see you all here today. After retirement from the news business, and in the first few years that he was here, okay, I'll get composed here. God, I'm out of practice. Okay. After retirement from the news business, and in the first few years that he was here, Grant turned around the Communication Arts program. He increased the enrollment, which we all witnessed, and he hired some good people, and he urged investment in things that could benefit the college and the journalism profession. And he produced graduates who were prepared and educated and became priceless ambassadors for the college, like Scott Harvest. He also had a vision, the Archives of Iowa Broadcasting, and found a home for it here at Wartburg. He collected interviews for the archives, a long and laborious process, which he enjoyed, all in an effort to preserve what others will certainly appreciate years from now. As some of you know, Grant lived simply. He ran every day, 2 miles in the morning. He would eat his carrots and celery at noon and stayed trim and thin. He was very disciplined. And the only flashy thing he ever displayed was a convertible. And he would drive to McGregor with the top down, with Phaedra by his side, and occasionally she would have this colored scarf that was flying in the wind that was just awesome. They looked like quite the couple. Grant was also a religious man. He was active in his church in Waterloo, and he helped recruit church leaders and build that congregation. So upon his death, it was no surprise that Grant would teach us how to give. He left behind a legacy as he established the Grant Price Chair in Communication Arts, funding several scholarships and supporting the broadcast archives. And on Thursday, we witnessed the outgrowth with Dr. Penny Peer, who is here. I think she's maybe in the other room, who was acknowledged as the Grant L. Price Endowed Department Chair. And I think we need to give her a round of applause. And so today we dedicate this new digital studio in Grant's name, and he would have loved this. Can you imagine what he would have said? We used to kid around with him about clinging to his old typewriter, you know, that typewriter that he had on his desk, and he, as he was hunting and pecking on his new Apple computer, you know, as his laptop. He was always up for progress, as we know, never afraid to try something new, even well into his 80s. So beyond the naming rights and the contributor plaques and all of our speeches and the great-looking cake over there, Grant's memory will live on in our hearts. To those he taught, those he guided, and those he loved, Grant was a sower of seeds, and now Wartburg is benefiting from his harvest.